Good evening from Tel Aviv. Israeli news tonight was totally dominated by the tragic story of an Israeli in Beersheva who opened fire in a bank, killing 4 people in the bank. This is the first time I can remember in Israeli history where there was a mass killing of this nature. The man who was unemployed seems like he came to the bank to kill people because he had been turned down for a loan. Like I said, I do not remember any other case in Israeli history where this ever took place, anything like this. And as a result, as you can imagine, 45 minutes of the 1-hour news broadcast tonight was devoted to this story. In the meantime, on the other side of our borders, the situation is getting even more complicated. In Syria, Hezbollah is getting drawn directly into the conflict in a major way. Today, in the Syrian strategic town of Kisayr, which is a strategic town, crossroads both for the rebels getting armaments and crossroads possibly to get to Lebanon, a pitched battle has been going on with the Syrian forces attempting to retake the town with the direct involvement of Hezbollah. Today there are reports of anything between 20 and 120 Hezbollah fighters being killed in this battle. They've found themselves now in the middle of the war directly. There's no getting around it. They are now fighting the war that Iran has told them to fight. Of course, for Israel, this is all the more complicated. Yesterday, the Syrian regime warned that missiles were now aimed at Tel Aviv if Israel once again tries to intercept any of the transfer of arms between Syria and Hezbollah or anyone else. On the other hand, Israeli military observers sort of shrugged off this statement, because missiles have always been pointed this way, and more importantly, because it's estimated that 50% of Assad's missiles have now been used up firing at the rebels. So, in the meantime, it's very hard to see where this is going. The rift in the Arab world is getting deeper and deeper every day. The increased fighting in Iraq, in my opinion, is a direct result of the rift that's taken place in Syria. On the other hand, one of the interesting things that has taken place is Hamas and Hezbollah 2 years ago were hand in hand, jointly planning activities and jointly planning actions against Israel. Hamas, on the other hand, with their alignment with the Muslim Brotherhood, had to make a decision. Who are they going to be aligned with? They decided to be aligned with the rebels. So at this point, Hamas and Hezbollah, 2 of Israel's greatest enemies, are now enemies with each other. So in the short term, this certainly doesn't hurt. What it means in the long term, we have no idea. Talking about Hamas, the border between Gaza and Egypt has been closed, not by the order of the Egyptian government, but by a decision by the Egyptian military independently, and particularly the military that's on the border have decided to close the border. This is in response to the kidnapping of Egyptian soldiers by militants in the Sinai desert. These militants are some which way tied to the Hamas in Gaza. At the moment, they're demanding a ransom from the Egyptian government to allow them to go free, and a prisoner exchange of all of the militants that were arrested after the killing of 15 Egyptian soldiers. President Morsi is waffling. The Egyptian military wants to take action. There's a petition on the streets of Cairo right now to call for his resignation because he refuses to take action to uphold the honor of the army. For him, this has become a major disaster. Those who are being held by the militants are now making the claim, why doesn't the Egyptian government act in the same way that the Israeli government did and trade hostages the way Israel did for Gilad Shalit? In any event, this is weakening the Morsi government even further. Where this leads is very, very unclear, but it's turning the Egyptian population even further against the Hamas government in the Gaza Strip. So, neither inside Israel nor outside Israel could I say it was a quiet day. This is Mark Schulman reporting from Tel Aviv. Good night.